Hey, this is Mad Movie Mark, the Mad Movie Mark movie review. Thank you for joining me as I review the 1980s gritty drama Atlantic City.
He's had some really hard lives. I think he's due for a real big break in this one.
Well, you're right. I've had my fair share of pitfalls, but I always hope for the best. I'm reviewing every movie that has 100% fresh rating Rotten Tomatoes. I'm giving them all a score of 1 to 10. After I watch them and score them all, I will rank them from worst to best. I started in the 1920 silent movie era, and now I'm at 1980 with Atlantic City. This is the first movie from the 80s that I will be reviewing. This is a decade that will bring us The Terminator and Grave of the Fireflies, and it's also the decade in which I was born. So this movie has a 100% fresh rating from the critics and a 78% fresh rating from the audience. It stars two titans of Hollywood, Burt Lancaster as Lou and Susan Sarandon as Sally. Also stars Robert Joy as Dave, Hollis McLaurin as Chrissy, and Kate Reid as Grace. There's also a guest starring performance in this movie from Robert Goulet.
Everyone's watching. See what you will do. It's a little lover boy. Come on. Everyone's looking at you. Bob Goulet's wondering, will you come out tonight? Everyone's trying to get it right.
Okay, I know that's not the real Robert Goulet, but I just think that Will Ferrell does a hilarious impersonation of him. This movie was nominated for 5 Academy Awards, including Best Picture, Best Lead Actor, Best Lead Actress, Best Director, and Best Screenplay. It lost Best Picture to Chariots of Fire, and it lost Best Actor to Henry Fonda for On Golden Pond. Now, this was Henry Fonda's last major starring role in a movie. He was sick at the time. Hollywood knew this. They knew that this was going to be his last big role. So there was a huge push to have him win Best Actor. And I think that had he not won it, Burt Lancaster probably would have been a shoo-in for it. This is also the only Best Actor award Henry Fonda ever won, which is absolutely insane, considering the career that he had was absolutely amazing. Best Actress went to Katharine Hepburn, who acted opposite of Henry Fonda, who was also kind of in her later stages of her career. And, you know, I'm glad that they won it as a duo, but I think Susan Sarandon probably had a good chance of winning it as well. So like I said before, this movie is very gritty. The acting is just fantastic all the way around. Great story, great direction, great cinematography. I really love the story in this movie. There's just one nagging thing that I'll talk about later that I didn't enjoy, but overall, I thought this movie was really great. So in this movie, Burt Lancaster plays a small town crook who has aspirations and dreams of becoming something bigger. He wants to be like a big mob boss. He even tells stories about how he was in prison with Bugsy Siegel and Al Capone.
I'll need $5 more.
5 more? You want cigarettes? You steal cigarettes. You're the big-time thief. Mr. Mastermind. Mr. 10 Most Wanted.
That's enough.
Nothing's enough.
Susan Sarandon plays a girl who's kind of down on her luck a little bit. She works at a sushi place, but she has dreams of working at a casino in Atlantic City where she would be a card dealer. So she's going to school to kind of be this card dealer. Now, in the beginning of the movie, when the movie opens up, we see Dave and Grace. Dave is in a phone booth, and he kind of takes something from the top of the phone booth, which we learn later on is cocaine. He got this tip that there was going to be cocaine in a phone booth that the mob was trying to hand off, and he got there first before the mob could get there. So he steals the cocaine. His girlfriend that he's with, Grace, she's pregnant, very pregnant. They end up going to Sally's house, and at Sally's house, we learn that Dave is actually married to Sally, and that Grace is Sally's sister. So Sally's husband ended up running off with his wife's sister and got her pregnant. When she confronts him about this and says, like, why did you do this? Why did you leave me? He pretty much says, forget about it. These type of things happen.
Why did you do it? Running away with her, humiliating me like that?
Don't knock somebody up. Pick somebody who can take care of herself.
What do you want me to say? I'm sorry? These things happen.
So fantastic opening for a movie. It really sets the tone about what this is going to be like. Dave is trying to sell this cocaine that he has come across. He goes to this guy who is known for dealing drugs, and this guy says, hey, look, like, everyone knows who I work with in this town, and if I work with you, those other people are going to be upset and they're not going to work with me anymore. So there's really nothing I can do for you. Now Dave stumbles upon Lou, and he learns that Lou has maybe some experience with this. He tells Lou, like, hey, like, I heard about you in Las Vegas. Everyone's talking about you. Everyone knows your name. Now Lou seems a little bit confused by this. Why would anyone know who he is in Las Vegas? Because he's this small-time crook. But I think it kind of piques his interest a little bit. Like, maybe he's a bigger man than what he thought.
Hey, listen, I hear you're very big in circles around here.
Where'd you hear that?
Vegas? Las Vegas?
You heard about me in Vegas?
Oh, yeah. The man to know.
Let me understand something, kid. You're talking about Las Vegas, Nevada.
Right, yeah.
That I was the man to know.
Yeah. Lou, right?
And Dave really plays into this, like, you're the big man, like, you're the guy to go to. Everyone tells me that you're the person that I should be finding. So Dave kind of takes him under his wing, decides to help him try to sell these drugs. So they go to this, they go to their contact who they're going to try to sell to. Now Lou is able to get the drugs sold, but Dave is found by the mob whom he stole the drugs from, and Dave is killed by the mob. After Dave is killed, Lou ends up running into Sally. Sally is Lou's next door neighbor. Now, Lou has this tendency to watch. Lou is able to see Sally from his window. His window kind of looks into her window, her apartment window, and she has this routine where she stands in front of the window, kind of disrobes, cleans herself with lemon juice, and Lou likes to watch, so he watches her all the time. And once he realizes that Dave was somehow involved with Sally, I don't think he knew right away that they were married. He kind of goes up to Sally and he comforts her. Now he has all this money from the drugs that he sold, and he says, I'm going to, make sure that Dave gets a proper burial. I'm going to make sure that you're able to send Dave's body back to Canada where your parents live. I'm going to take care of everything. Don't you worry. I'm going to take care of you. I'm going to take care of everything. Now, Sally is not used to this type of treatment. I mean, her husband left her for her sister, so she's kind of used to people mistreating her. She's kind of used to people, like, not caring about her. In this movie, her boss, she's going to school to learn how to be a car dealer. She's treated poorly by this gentleman. He kind of singles her out and treats her badly, but then he also kind of seems like he's hitting on her at the same time. So she just seems to have this this bad men in her life type of thing. So she immediately, like, takes an attraction to Lou. There's this kind of, like, are they going to get together? Are they not going to get together type of thing? Until Lou and Sally ends up telling Lou that she's going to move out of the apartment. She's going to live in this house with like 10 other people. All these other people are also going to school to do blackjack and to work at the casino. When Lou gets to this house where they live, where she's going to live, he ends up telling her, like, I watch you from my window. What are the lemons about? Why do you do the lemons? And, it's a very awkward conversation. Like, I felt very weird and while watching this movie, watching this scene, because it's very awkward.
I watch you.
Huh?
The place where we live. I watch you.
Through my window?
You saw me?
I figured maybe somebody was there.
Did you know it was me?
But you were just this guy across the way.
Why do you use lemons?
The fish smell, I'm embarrassed.
Oh. I thought maybe it was for some other reasons that I didn't understand.
He is quite older than her, I will say, too. In real life, Burt Lancaster is about 33 years older than Susan Sarandon. So it's one of those movies where the guy is so much older than the girl. I don't even believe that this relationship could ever happen. Now, they do a good job in kind of building up her character, who she is. Like, she does have problems with men in her life. She doesn't have anyone to turn to. She's all alone in life, basically. Then you have this older gentleman who has all this money, who's nice, who's willing to help her. So they do a good job in painting a picture as to why she would be attracted to Burt Lancaster. I mean, even an old Burt Lancaster is an attractive guy. So it works. I'm not a huge fan of that big of an age difference. I don't know, in a movie. It is what it is. I guess if the attraction's there, why not? It's just weird to me. So they end up hooking up together after that wonderful speech he did about how he watches her undress from his window. Apparently that really got her juices flowing because they end up sleeping together. So weird. And then there's a scene where I think they're going back to his place, or they're going somewhere, and the mob ends up catching both of them, and they kind of beat up Lou a little bit, and they beat up Sally a lot, trying to find the drugs that Dave had. They know that Sally was married to Dave, so they assume that she either has the money or has the drugs. Now, in this scene, I really think we see Lou get kind of knocked down a peg. Throughout the movie, after he sold the drugs, he has the money, he has the girl. He thinks that he is like this big-time mob gangster guy. He thinks that he really has things figured out. He thinks that he's somebody, that he's important, and that he finally has made it. And then once this happens, he kind of gets knocked down a couple pegs.
This is none of your business. You don't want to get hurt.
He ends up running. He ends up kind of ghosting Sally. He goes back to the casino. He's gambling away a lot of his money. The mob people find him at the casino. They try to coerce him into stepping outside so that they can talk about where the money might be or where the drugs might be. Of course, he doesn't want to do this.
Sir, you can't disturb the players.
I think we should continue this outside.
No. Let's go.
Hey.
You're playing with Dave's money. I'm owed it.
Adam, please, if you're not going to play, you'll have to leave the table.
Sit down and be quiet.
Oh, yeah, you're buying me roses? I'm getting fired from my job. I'm supposed to sit here like some Vegas bimbo? Look, mister, I've got hoods beating the shit out of me. If I'm going to get beat up for money and drugs, then I'm going to have that money and drugs on me.
Sally ends up coming to the casino, and she's like, hey, where have you been? Why have you ghosted me? I just found out that you have Dave's money. She didn't know that Dave and Lou were working together until this point in the movie. And she says, that money is mine. That was Dave's money. Dave's no longer alive. That money is mine. So they get into a fight, which eventually leads them to a place where Lou has to kind of prove who he is. Is he going to be that feared mobster that he wants to be, or is he going to be kind of a coward that he probably deep down inside might actually be? It gets to a point where he has a gun and he shoots the two mobsters and he kills them both. After that, him and Sally go to a hotel. And then they turn on the news and he's right there. His face is on the news. Not his face. There's like a composite drawing where apparently there was a witness who saw what happened and they drew a picture and it's Lou's face. Now Lou completely lights up at this. He thinks that this is fantastic, that his picture is on the screen. He's like made it. People are fearing him. People know who he is. And he's just filled with total and utter glee that this has happened.
Come in, Connie.
Bob, we've just had a break in the Atlantic City story. A witness has come forward who has described the gunman. This is a police composite of that man.
Hey, that's me. That's me.
Anyone with any information should please
Hey,
call
it's
the
me.
Atlantic City
It's
hotline.
me. We'll stop on the way down and buy all the newspapers. This story's going to be big all over the country.
Remember,
Gangland
Newswatch
slaying
hotline
rips
number
apart
is
Atlantic City.
246-3100. All calls will.
Now, Sally, on the other hand, is not as happy that this happened because she realizes that this is bad. that she is an accomplice to even though they're mobsters, and even though that they probably should have been killed, they had to be killed, otherwise Lou and Sally would have been killed. She's still an accomplice to a murder that they ran from. So she ends up taking the car and sort of getting out of Dodge and leaving Lou. And Lou ends up with this older lady that he was taking care of. And the movie kind of ends with with Lou and Sally both kind of going their separate ways, but both being happy in their situation and both kind of being free of the burdens that they had. Sally had the burden of no money, no upward momentum in life, husband who cheated on her with her sister, and now she's gotten away from all that. She has the money, she's able to go live the kind of life that she wants to live. And then Lou, who was burdened by this feeling of not being good enough, of not being the big mobster that he wanted to be. He kind of had this feeling deep down inside that that he was not at all what he could have been in life, and he kind of was able to capture that when he killed the gangsters, when he was on the news, and he is now where he wants to be in life, and none of them get caught, which is crazy because earlier that day they were in a casino fighting with these mobsters, and they had to have gotten it on camera. Now I know this is the 70s, 80s, late 70s, early 80s, but they even say in the movie when she's learning how to deal blackjack that the cameras are always watching. So you would think that these two mobsters who were in a casino, maybe someone who was in the casino saw them on TV and said, "Hey, I saw those two guys earlier. They were arguing with this guy." And, it shouldn't be too hard to find Lou and figure out who he is and arrest him if they really wanted to, because he was clearly in a fight with these two mobsters in the casino. And Sally was also in the casino, and she was very verbally upset at all of them, and she was letting herself be known that she was not happy. It made a big scene in the casino, and you would think that this would all spill over and somehow he would get arrested. But no, that didn't happen. He gets to get away with it. I really don't know what happened to the pregnant sister. Now, the pregnant sister was not at all sad that her husband was killed, because she believes in reincarnation and she believes that he was reincarnated. So all is good there. She didn't seem like she was too worried about raising a kid on her own with no money and no job. So I guess she is also happy, at least until reality sets in and she realizes she's going to have this kid and she can't support him. So yeah, I mean, that's basically the entire movie. I thought this movie was really, really good. Like I said, the acting performances are fantastic all around. I have yet to see a Burt Lancaster movie where his acting wasn't absolutely superb. Fantastic. Susan Sarandon, great as always. The story, I love these type of kind of dark movies that, throughout the entire movie, it's not necessarily happy. These are the kind of movies I really love. It was an hour and a half or hour and 40 minutes. The pacing was perfect. A far cry from Stalker, which I watched the movie before. Cinematography was great. The only issue I had with this movie was the huge age difference. I don't know. Why can't there be more movies where the couple are just like similar ages? Why is it the guy's always in his 70s and the girl's always like in her 30s? I just I don't get it. But I could see, like I said, I could see Burt Lancaster being enough to where that would work. I could see that working fine. And the fact at the end that he just got away with it and it seemed completely ridiculous that he wasn't caught, because I really thought at the end of the movie he was going to be caught. And honestly, that wouldn't have destroyed the movie for me at all. Like if he was caught and he was like put in jail, but he was still happy that he became this big mob guy. And maybe he, like at the end of the movie, he would be talking to another person who's young, who's like him, who will tell a story about how he was in jail with a big mob guy. I don't know. I really thought he was going to be caught. I thought that being caught would have been a better ending for this movie than just him walking with his girlfriend on the Jersey Shore, like the boardwalk. But, you know, it is what it is. It's still a really good movie. Yeah, I give it an 8.5 out of 10. Thank you. I hope you have a great day.